Hope everybody is doing great. Now I could have chosen to make this particular video in Kodavas, which is my mother tongue. So the emotions would have been right, as well as I would have been able to convey it much better. However, I also realize that most of our culture and history is lost because of no mention of it in most of our textbooks, or our ignorance with regards to each other's culture as well. So that's the reason why I've chosen to make this video in English, as well as this is a story or a fact in the history books which needs to reach each and every person. The title of the video says Kodavas finally got justice. So what am I talking about here? Well, the High Court of Karnataka recently passed a judgment with regards to Tipu Sultan Jayanti. Now, I'm going to read out the judgment the way it is so that I don't misquote a High Court judgment. So, the Justice Subroto Kamal Mukherjee says, Tipu Sultan massacred and raped thousands of Hindus, forcibly converted them to Islam. He destroyed temples. He fought Britishers for Islam and not for independence of India. Tipu Sultan was a tyrant, jihadi, and not a freedom fighter. Now, there are two things that we have to look at. Once the celebration of Tipu Jayanti was cancelled by the BJP government within a day, a PIL was filed requesting that Tipu Jayanti should be celebrated in India as he was a freedom fighter. Even though the High Court did take remand of the government saying that you should have not just gone ahead and cancelled the celebration within a day, wherein you should have looked into the issue and found out as to why this is creating such a ruckus. However, they did rule in the favor of not celebrating Tipu Jayanti. Secondly, they're going to give this a communal angle. They're going to make this Hindu versus Muslims. Let me clarify, no Kodava hates Muslims. They just hate one person, that is Tipu Sultan. Now, everybody in India knows about Coorg. It is definitely there in the list of places they would want to visit for their weekend getaway if they are from the south of India. Otherwise, maybe once a place to visit if you are in India. I won't blame you because it's called Scotland of India. However, you know very little about Kodavas. Let me give you some interesting fact about Kodavas. The first field marshal of the Indian Army was a Kodava. At least one person from each and every family of Kodavas would be serving in defense forces. Now, why do Kodavas hate Tipu so much? Well, there is enough records to prove that Tipu's father Hyder Ali and Tipu attacked Coorg a lot of times. And there's also a proof to say that he lost battle against Kodavas every single time. He's attacked Kodavas more than 30 times and he's lost every single battle. That was because Kodavas were great with guerrilla warfare and he could never get past that. So one thing Tipu realized is that he could never win a war against Kodavas if he fights with them directly. So he devised a cunning plan with the French army, and then he invited the Kodavas to a place called Dhevaatparambh. Now this is a holy place where we would pray. He invited them with their entire family. Even the Kodavas were tired with the amount of war that was being carried out between the Tipu's army and the Kodavas, and also the atrocities that were carried out by Tipu on their children and women. So they also thought that it would be better to sort things out. Now what Tipu did was he invited the Kodavas to a place called Dhevaatparambh. This particular place was a holy place for the Kodavas, and the way it was portrayed was that there's going to be food that would be served and a discussion made and we would go ahead and have a compromise. As it was a holy place, all the Kodavas went there unarmed with their family and children. Now the biggest massacre that you guys would be aware of is Jallianwala Bagh. The amount of life that was lost there was 1,000. But there is also documented proof that number of Kodavas assembled at this particular location was almost 1 lakh. So the moment Kodavas reached, the French army and Tipu attacked together and killed as many Kodavas as they could, and whoever was left was dragged to Srirangapatna and were converted into Islam. If there were 1 lakh people assembled, you can just imagine how many lives are lost on that particular day. Now the date when this was carried out was on 12th of December because there is a proper documented proof for the same. At a time where for every small thing people are going on the roads and creating protests, the Kodava Youth Council is requesting all the Kodavas to light a lamp tomorrow, that's the 12th of December at 7 p.m. to convey our solidarity towards the sacrifice that was made by our ancestors. And let me also tell you, I have not been requested by anybody to make this video. I am making this video at my own accord. So I would request each and every Kodava to light a lamp at 7 p.m. tomorrow and respect our ancestors. Hope the video was informative. Hope to see you in the next video. Ciao for now.